Poverty remains a persistent issue in the United States, affecting millions of people across the country. In 2023, approximately 36.8 million Americans, or 11.1% of the U.S. population, were living in poverty. These numbers represent a slight decrease from previous years, but the figures are still far from ideal. Poverty in the U.S. is defined as having an income below the federal poverty line, which varies based on household size and other factors. Certain states continue to struggle with higher-than-average poverty rates. In this video, we will explore the 10 states with the highest poverty rates, their poverty populations, and the challenges faced by these communities. Number 10. South Carolina. South Carolina holds the 10th highest poverty rate in the nation, with 15.2% of its residents living below the poverty line. This translates to approximately 784,000 people struggling to meet their basic needs. Behind these stark statistics lies a deeper story about economic disparity, systemic challenges, and the people who are most affected. Poverty in South Carolina is particularly severe in rural regions and among minority populations. In these areas, residents often face significant barriers to achieving economic stability. Limited access to resources like affordable housing and steady employment opportunities creates a cycle of hardship that is difficult to break. One of the biggest challenges for families in poverty is food insecurity. Across South Carolina, many households struggle to put nutritious meals on the table, particularly in rural areas where grocery stores are scarce. This issue is further compounded by the high cost of living, which leaves families having to choose between essentials like rent, utilities, and food. Number 9. Tennessee. Tennessee currently ranks 9th in the nation for poverty, with a rate of 15.2%. This means nearly 1 million people are living below the poverty line. Despite economic growth in cities like Nashville, the state is grappling with a growing poverty crisis, particularly in rural areas where residents face a lack of resources and opportunities. The challenges facing Tennessee's rural communities are stark. High poverty rates in these areas are largely driven by the lack of infrastructure and job opportunities. Factories and businesses have disappeared over time, leaving behind unemployment and economic stagnation. Education gaps are wide, and many children in impoverished areas attend schools that lack adequate resources. Healthcare access is also an issue, with a large number of Tennesseans uninsured or underinsured, particularly in rural parts of the state. Number 8. Oklahoma. Oklahoma ranks 8th in the nation for poverty, with a rate of 15.2%. This means about 606,000 residents, nearly 1 in 6 people, live below the poverty line. Behind these numbers is a complex story of economic hardship, rural challenges, and the struggles faced by Oklahoma's Native American communities. Unemployment is one of the key drivers of poverty in Oklahoma, particularly in rural areas. These regions, once home to thriving industries, have faced economic stagnation as jobs disappeared over time. Opportunities are few, and for many families, finding steady work remains an uphill battle. Native American communities are among the hardest hit. Oklahoma is home to one of the largest Native populations in the United States, and these communities face unique challenges. Limited access to quality healthcare, education, and stable employment leaves many families in a cycle of poverty that is difficult to escape. Number 7. Alabama. Alabama, known for its rich history, southern charm, and beautiful landscapes, also faces significant economic challenges. With a poverty rate of 15.6%, approximately 761,000 people in the state live in poverty, ranked 7th in the nation for poverty. Alabama's poverty crisis is deeply rooted in systemic inequality. Socioeconomic disparities and racial divides have hindered progress for generations, affecting access to jobs, education, and basic resources. One of the most significant challenges lies in Alabama's education system. In many low-income areas, schools are underfunded and lack the resources needed to give students a fair chance at academic success. For children living in poverty, this means fewer opportunities to advance, limiting their ability to break free from generational hardship. Number 6. West Virginia. West Virginia ranks 6th in the nation for poverty, with a rate of 15.8%. This means approximately 283,000 people live below the poverty line. The challenges facing West Virginia are vast: a struggling economy, a shrinking population, and the devastating impact of the opioid epidemic. Once fueled by the coal industry, West Virginia's economy has struggled to adapt as the demand for coal declines. Jobs that once provided stable incomes have disappeared, leaving many families without work and with few opportunities to move forward. The decline of coal mining has hit small towns the hardest. In rural communities, job opportunities are scarce, and economic stagnation has left residents searching for a way out of poverty. Young people are leaving the state in search of better jobs and brighter futures elsewhere. West Virginia's population has been steadily declining for years, further weakening the state's economic base. Number 5. Kentucky. Kentucky ranks 5th in the nation for poverty, with a rate of 15.8%. This means nearly 703,000 residents live below the poverty line. The roots of poverty in Kentucky are deep, tied to its economic history and the struggles faced by rural and Appalachian communities. For decades, the coal industry was the backbone of Kentucky's economy. Thousands of families depended on coal mining jobs that offered steady pay and the promise of stability. But as the coal industry declined, entire communities were left behind. The decline of coal has had lasting effects, particularly in eastern Kentucky. Educational attainment remains a major barrier. Many children grow up in families where access to quality education is limited. Underfunded schools, teacher shortages, and limited resources leave students without the tools they need to succeed. Number 4. Arkansas. Arkansas is a state known for its natural beauty and a growing tech scene, but beneath these positive developments lies a stark reality. Nearly 15.9% of its population lives in poverty, ranking 4th in the nation. That's approximately 479,000 residents struggling to make ends meet. The state's economic struggles are deeply tied to the decline of key industries. Agriculture and manufacturing, once the backbone of Arkansas's economy, have suffered significant setbacks, leaving many areas with high unemployment rates and few opportunities for economic growth. Poverty in Arkansas is compounded by food insecurity. Many families simply don't have enough to eat. While the state is known for its agricultural output, the benefits of that industry haven't reached everyone. The wealth is concentrated in certain areas, leaving those in rural regions struggling to meet basic needs. Number 3. New Mexico. New Mexico, a state known for its rich cultural heritage, stunning natural beauty, and vibrant art scene, ranks 3rd in the nation for poverty, with a rate of 18.2%. This means that around 385,000 residents in New Mexico live below the poverty line. Despite its scenic landscapes and unique traditions, New Mexico faces deep and persistent poverty, especially among its Native American communities and in rural areas. At the heart of New Mexico's poverty crisis lies the struggle faced by Native American communities. Many tribal lands are located in remote areas where economic development and job opportunities are scarce. As a result, high unemployment and limited access to resources have created a cycle of poverty that's hard to break. Here, unemployment is incredibly high, and the job opportunities that do exist don't offer enough to support families. Many people are just trying to survive day to day. It's a challenge to overcome when there's no support or investment. Education is another key factor. Low educational attainment is prevalent in New Mexico, especially in rural areas and among Native American populations. Public schools are underfunded, with outdated resources, overcrowded classrooms, and a shortage of teachers, making it difficult for children to receive the quality education they need to succeed. Number 2. Louisiana. Louisiana is one of the most economically challenged states in the nation. With a staggering poverty rate of 19.95%, Louisiana ranks 2nd in the country for poverty, affecting about 907,000 people. Despite its colorful traditions and deep roots in music, food, and art, Louisiana's residents face stark economic disparities, both in the urban heart of New Orleans and in its rural communities. The state's poverty is deeply concentrated in both urban and rural areas, with New Orleans serving as one of the major focal points. While New Orleans attracts millions each year for its festivals, music, and world-renowned cuisine, many of its residents are stuck in a cycle of poverty. Entire neighborhoods are affected by unemployment, undereducation, and poor access to essential services. In the heart of New Orleans, the stark contrast between the city's iconic culture and the struggles of its poor communities is undeniable. Behind the vibrancy of the streets lies a population grappling with the harsh realities of poverty, unemployment, inadequate housing, and limited opportunities. Number 1. Mississippi. Mississippi, a state that, year after year, holds the title of the poorest state in the U.S., with a poverty rate of 18.7%, approximately 556,000 people live in poverty, struggling daily to make ends meet. Despite its rich cultural heritage and historical significance, Mississippi's deep-rooted poverty reflects systemic issues that have been plaguing the state for generations. Mississippi's poverty is not a new challenge. It's a problem with deep historical roots that have evolved over decades. The state's struggles with poverty, unemployment, and undereducation are interwoven with its history and have been passed down through generations. But today, the reality is clear. Mississippi consistently ranks at the bottom when it comes to economic stability. A key factor in Mississippi's poverty is its education system, which remains one of the most underfunded in the nation. High levels of illiteracy and low graduation rates are pervasive across the state, particularly in rural areas. This often leads to poor access to healthcare, increased unemployment rates, and a lack of affordable housing. The state's agricultural and manufacturing sectors have been slow to diversify, leaving many without stable employment. Despite the staggering poverty rates in these states, community-driven efforts, local advocacy, and nationwide policy changes can help lift millions out of poverty. From improving education and healthcare access to creating economic opportunities, every step towards progress is crucial. The fight against poverty is not just a challenge, it's a shared responsibility. Together, we can make a difference. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.